Once again, a very warm welcome and thank you so much for tuning in on this Sunday morning. Let's quickly get started with the top focus story that is coming in from Mumbai. Now, Indian billionaire and business magnate Rakesh Jhunjhunwala has passed away at the age of 62. Popularly known as India's Warren Buffett, the investor with a Midas touch passed away at the age of 62 today morning. Jhunjhunwala, who is also the founder of India's newest airline Akasa Air, had been facing, in fact, several health complications and was discharged from the hospital just 2 weeks back. And I'm being joined by my colleague Avni Raja live on the broadcast. Avni, a very, very sad day, not just for the Indian markets, but the whole country. We've known Jhunjhunwala as somebody who's a very leading face, a very leading name when it comes to stock markets. So fair enough to say that it's actually an end of an era when it comes to the stock markets. What more are you picking up in terms of what led to his sudden demise, and what more can you tell us about this veteran investor?
Well, that's right. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, in fact, has been ill for some time. He was quite ill, had several ailments, and he has now passed away at the age of 62. He's survived by his wife and three children as well. And in fact, he was known, like you said, as the Warren Buffett of India, a big bull of the Lal Street, really, a huge portfolio of investments. About investing, about the stock market, and more importantly, he was a big eternal optimist, really, very, very bullish as far as the Indian economy and the Indian growth story is concerned. Even post the pandemic, he was always one of the people who said India is going to bounce back very fast, and he was one of the big investors in India post, in fact, the pandemic, in the aftermath of the pandemic, after the lockdown, etc. He had started putting in a lot of money into the stock markets as well. So he has been a huge inspiration to many, especially in the investing community, for whom it is a big loss as well, as far as Rakesh Jhunjhunwala is concerned. He was also a big philanthropist. He had a lot of philanthropy that he used to do as well. And aside from investing, his other big passion really was Bollywood, and he often spoke about that. He also put in money into some films, and interestingly, he was responsible for bringing Sridevi back to the big screen with English Winglish, because he produced that film as well. He was a big fan of Sridevi as well. So that was his other passion aside from investing. He was extremely excited about Akasa Airline, and that has just kicked off, unfortunately. And he has passed away at this time. But before Akasa, he had also invested into Indigo. So that was the other big investment he's made as well. So yes, truly, it is a big loss as far as Rakesh Jhunjhunwala's death is concerned.
Indeed, a big loss to the business world. Avni, for somebody like you, in fact, who's covered financial news and markets very extensively in the past, if you could just throw more light on his journey, what was the significance of this big man in the world of business and markets?
Well, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, in fact, he had humble beginnings, and he began dabbling in stocks right from college itself, and it is from there that his entire journey began. He has always been extremely, extremely positive and optimistic as far as the Indian growth story is concerned. No matter what the economy was going through, he always felt that it is going to come out of any issues, and eventually the long-term growth story of India is going to be extremely strong, and it is with that mindset that he used to invest, and he's made some big investments in several companies, including Titan, Aurobindo Pharma, are some of the companies, of course, Indigo, and he also the company called Star Health and Allied Insurance as well, and of course co-founding now, founding Akasa Airlines is the other big one. So as far as investing goes, he was called the big bull of the Lal Street. He was known as the Warren Buffett of India, and several people, of course, an inspiration to several people who aspired and aimed to become Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. In fact, he always used to say, he began saying, "Achhe din aa gaye hain," instead of "Achhe din aane wale hain." That is usually, said. So his point was that the good times are already here, and to move forward with that perspective. He was extremely opinionated, and he was very vocal and very, free with what he had to say. He was very vocal about his views and his opinions as well. So yes, it was always, it's always enjoyable to watch his interviews. every time he came on screen, because he was just he was really full of life. As the Prime Minister also tweeted, calling it a big loss to the entire financial community. He's spoken about his indomitable spirit, and the fact that he was extremely insightful as well and believed in the progress of India. Pooja.
All right, Avni, thank you so much for joining us with all those details on this big breaking news coming in from Mumbai. Indeed, a very sad day for the world of business and for somebody like Indian billionaire and business magnate Rakesh Jhunjhunwala passing away at the age of 62. Remember, he had been, in fact, keeping unwell for more than a while now, and it was, in fact, just 2 weeks back that he was admitted and eventually discharged. He had been on the wheelchair for the longest time, and now what we're getting to learn is that, in fact, today morning he was brought dead to the hospital at 6:45 a.m. and now the latest